Good morning to one and all. I, Neetu Singh Goyat, Mother Teacher, Class 1 from Army Public School Hisar, is here to tell you about New Education Policy 2020 in action. For this, my main focus will be on activity-based learning, wherein I will be touching upon critical thinking, experiential learning and competency-based learning. So, let's start. If I talk about activity-based learning, it is rightly said, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. For this, we conducted an activity. The activity was named as Bread and Jam activity, which was really very fruitful for the children and the teacher as well. In this, instructions were given by the teacher beforehand. In the first picture, the child is applying jam on the bread under the supervision of a teacher and a parent. Next, if I talk about the second picture, it is of the child showing two breads. Both are very different. And in third, the child was able to express his views after doing the activity regarding the bread with the jam. So, it was an art integrated learning for the child as this activity was connected to various subject areas like EVS and maths. If I talk EVS, our food chapter is very much connected to the bread. If I talk about the raw food, cooked food, we can make this clear with the help of this activity. And regarding taste, if I talk about taste, the child is able to tell that before applying jam, the taste was different and now the taste has changed. Same way, maths can also be connected to this activity by telling them about top to bottom and left to right, wherein the child was applying jam top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, right to left. In this way, the child was very much clear about the activity. Now, if we move on to the experiential learning, it was again a great learning for the teacher as well as the students. For this, we conducted two activities. One was the show and tell activity and another was the role play activity. Show and tell activity, if I talk about this, the activity was very much child centered. In this picture, the girl is showing a mango to her teacher and the teacher is just there to listen what all she wants to say about the mango and see how happy she is while describing the mango. It means whenever they do, they learn a lot out of it. If I talk about the role play activity, this child was dressed up as a doctor and during this pandemic, he was very well known to the criterias and the factors of the corona, the timings we are struggling with. So, he was very much presentable to everyone with the experience he has attained through the skills he has mastered on his own. Now, if I go to the next slide, it will be telling you about the activities to enhance critical thinking. For this, we conducted a storytelling activity using resources from surrounding. As NEP says, resources should be very much applicable to the child. Availability to the child must be in his or her comfort zone. So, we tried our level best to make them provide the resources from their surrounding itself. And to check their critical thinking, open-ended questions were asked by the teacher in the end so as to check how much they can think and how much they can answer it and how much they have understood. So, in the first picture you can see a girl holding a doll and the teacher is holding another same doll with a little variation in the color of the dress. But the child, as was able to see the doll in the teacher's hand, was able to tell that, ma'am, it looks same. I am also having the same doll. And she ran and she brought it from her home and was able to connect the topic very finely. And this is all the critical thinking, wherein the child is seeing, learning, catching, and then delivering. And in the next picture, if I talk about, the teacher was showing real eggs to the children, and again these eggs were symbolizing our food chapter, that is again connected to EVS. So moreover, the activities are interlinked, interconnected. If I talk about competency based learning, it is very much clear that here the students advance after they have mastered a skill. First of all, they master and then they implement the things. Now, the learning goals are centered around the students' needs. Now, in this arena, all students receive differentiated support. Earlier, it was not so. It was not there for all the students. Now, assessment is embedded throughout and may look different for each student. And earlier, it was not throughout and it was not different for every student. It was somehow same for everyone. Learning outcomes consist of deep understanding, wherein earlier the child was busy with rote memorization, and now he is applicable to apply things to the new situations with the help of content he or she is having. Now, the student performance is determined by individual growth and mastery. Earlier it was not so. Now, if I talk about the activity based learning and why is it a best practice, so first of all I would like to tell you that resources are easily available in our surroundings. So we are able to conduct different activities on online mode with the help of students. Earlier in the offline mode, the teacher was creating flashcard, was able to give them to the children, they were touching upon, they were feeling upon, but now due to this pandemic, the child is allowed to use surrounding materials that are really helping him or her to conduct the activities with the help of the teacher very easily. And if I talk about activity based learning, it really gives reality to our learning. As already I have told you, learning by doing is the best method. Now, effective learning and retention will be more in learners. By this point, I would like to tell you that earlier the retention power in the kids was not that much at high scale, but now they will be having it on the large scale. Now they will be able to inculcate various skills. These skills will be their social skills, gross motor skills, listening skill, speaking skill, and so on. And it really encourages for better learning. And there are many more reasons to call it as a best practice, and I do follow this practice. If I come to the outcomes and results, it really develops teamwork. As you can see in the picture, the kids are very happy doing the task together, as teamwork is always rocking one. And various skills are developed, wherein you can take all these skills that are connected to a child's life are really inculcated, encouraged with the help of activity based learning, and again there are many more outcomes and results out of it. Last but not the least, a classroom should always be child centered. Thank you so much. Thank you.